Welcome to Biomutant. The dark can make you miss the day fierce. Old brick-bracks like that, sometimes still full of good things. It's time for an adventure, for good or bad. That hurt him. Wow, lucky. There's not much left of what we used to call our world. Scrap like this should hold up well.
Und Lumpfarb so.
Suppose you'll find out how dangerous the porky-puff is when you meet. But get on that fast.
Tidlo.
Wish... This one seems to be in good spirits despite being less.
Some.
Has heard that you only follow your own personal code and is worried you've lost your respect for life.
Gaguhu.
Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner conflict you're held accountable for your actions.
Ziehen.
Is sad to see you're staying on this road to ruin and that you're so determined to help no one other than yourself.
Embrace the dark, and it will embrace you too.
Doesn't that make you want to shudder?
Yes, with delight. Oh, the dark feels so good.
I'll be over here.
No hugs for you.
Growl it into a higher gear. Every little bit helps. Your eyes are opened. That was the first Aurora totem. 3 to go. Wonder where we can get some ride shoes for the mount. Don't be feary. It probably won't bite. Nothing like a wide moto tunnel for a good stroll. Just hold on tight. Energy on top. Even out here in the burbs, there are still places like that home that bear eyeballing better. At least you're not coming out of this empty-handed. Don't flinch away from this. It's your moment. You need to focus. That fixer-upper seems like it might be better as a torn-downer. Squeeze up and then down. Get the rhythm right. You snap that off, feeling pumped up. Treat it fair time and the mount will return the favor. Looks like the groover's arm needs to be nudged to get the needle in position and hear the mellow disc's message. This plastivinyl clue in a chit-chat code. Lucky I'm still old enough to decipher it. It's a bad place, just a trip trek not far from here. That's the Vroomer. Go, beastie, go. It's Bionucleus 10D. The contamination from these affected the DNA of everything that lived and breathed back in the old days. Someone could probably make good use of that plastic scrap over there. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. That's the good stuff. Well placed. This won't be a field trip. It's the real thing. Locked solid. That's not opening on its own. Definitely not open. Need a key. You're still aboard your mount, which is probably a good sign. The gatekeeper says... It's the Myriad Boomerang. Mountains are so ginormous. A fixer-upper. It's not so bad. Might still have some stuff in it. This could be the beginning of the end of everything. Get the rhythm going well. One arm, then the other. Pumping good. Looking better. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change with it. This must be Bionucleus 7H. Better be careful. The contamination here can mess with your molecular structure. Nailed it. You need to believe how serious this is if you want to have any effect on it. Get the rhythm going well. One arm, then the other. Pumping good. Looking better. Your destiny waits on the path you'll take to avoid it. E-waste, the stuff you need. This is Gurf's turf, and they don't like visitors. You're energized. Super effective. Oh, painful. There's no time to look back. Too busy moving on. Look around. The best. Sometimes what you'll see doesn't feel real until it brings you back to that particular moment, like stepping into a time machine. It's hard to shake these memories and their accompanying feelings. Our brains play tricks on us, so it will take effort to avoid them. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. You weren't supposed to know how to start the automaton pew-pew pang, but clearly you figured that out way back then. An old munch house. Imagine having hot food brought to you. Good ride long. Tell it, no biting. Let's see. Nice. Some barked wood scrap for you. Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see. Looking down from the mountaintops might be a bad idea. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. She wants Lupa Lupin to pay too, even though she strongly believes forgiveness is the strongest revenge.
Oh, that's so dark. Any darker and it'll be hard to see.
But think of all the beauty you'll never see.
Yeah, sight's overrated. Turn things up. Play life loud.
I prefer the quiet, too.
Then you should stay that way. Shut your mouth.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that? Hates to think of what's going to happen to all the Gnotes when the world dies. Nothing left to care for. Hates that you didn't care enough about the world to fight for it. Can't believe you joined up with the Jagni. They're constantly pecking around looking for things to swipe. Like starving thieves in a food factory. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow. The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater. She can't be sure. You'll have to wait and see. Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the Gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those Gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride Gnotes, and that tradition continued through the years. Nope, you still have to feed them, but food's easier to find than go juice. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another traveler. Hard to believe the Gnotes didn't trample it. The kind of pollution a Gnote produces might stink, but it usually washes away in the next rain. You should keep moving. Can't let those Gnotes blaze the trails for you. Be careful down here. Easy to get trapped. critical. There's a lot on the line here. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned. She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time. She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. Noko is always willing to help. Understands you have other places you need to go. Tapped hard. This beast can move. Excellent balance. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get, once it's out of the blind box, that is. You're in charge of that mount. Act like it. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. Seems the old world had plenty to offer, an all-in-one place for those obsessed with material things. Almost too much, if you ask her. Give it a little pat. Go on. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. Let's see. Stand against that. Take this seriously, or it'll take you. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mechamajut. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko. Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride. Noko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it. She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight. Seems like your mount likes you well enough. This place is called Bright Light. Mito lives close by.
Sei Gandum. Jaja Sentiri.
With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Says there's so much darkness to deal with. Rather than curse it, he makes lamps to fight it.
Joko.
You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it?
Joko.
Begs you to center yourself in the light. It can show you the way out of the darkness. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past bright lights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Figures that doesn't matter. You can't help but shine either way. Wishes you could see your way toward using your fire to light the way in the world, rather than burn it down. Stunned that you decided the world wasn't worth saving, what was it that burned you? Thinks it's funny you worked with the Jagni. They tried to rob him once, but he scorched away any that got too close. Says if they didn't want to get seared, they shouldn't have been so close. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So, why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right.
Taifa?
Claims you both walk in different types of darkness, but you guide yourself by the same light.
Tiba.
Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too. He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow.
Tiba.
Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end.
Dirindom.
You really do need them alive. Dead glitter moths fade. Time to ride. Don't know what that e-waste was. Nice and steady. Nothing's more important right now than this. So much damage. Now you understand better. Glittermoth Cave is right here. Wonder what you could make with that. Don't let the day pass you by.
Amun.
That's enough glittermoths to make her plan work.
Apli tonumuta.
She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater. The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time. She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains.
Minalagi mamuru.
So, based on that alone, she reckons it has suffered as much damage as the northwest root that's hidden beneath the surf.
Sana yode.
It reminds her of the gnotes and, like them, it's hoofed. They're just a lot bigger. Cuts right through you in the mountains. You found Camp Mosserk. Look for the bandits. Snowball. We're all heroes of our own stories, or so we hope.
Sedain Yawaksandonanenya. Me.
Asks you to do the...
Ekanishalafai.
It's sad to see you're staying on this road to ruin.
Blinded by the dark, right? I mean, who gets blinded by light?
You'd rather hide away in the dark.
I get it. Light's scary, right?
Light shows the truth.
People like lies better.
There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest. Got anything? The sun is coming up fast. There's a serenity about this. Nothing like a story with an unexpected ending.